Well, my name is Gina McLean and I'm from Sydney.
And I'm Debbie McGinnis, and I'm from Sydney.
Started up last fall. Probably started.
Yes, and I started up last fall when Sandra came, and I came to her first class. I love the balance, and I love the movement. I never ever took dance as a child, so it was quite an experience for me. I didn't know how I would get along or whatever, but when we first came, we were told it was dance, and so we went. And it was ballet, but it was movement and a lot of balance. And it's just wonderful to see that you can isolate different areas of your body.
And I find for myself, I had been recovering from a leg injury and I had an appreciable difference in the level of strength from one leg to the other. So I noticed almost immediately with my first class how it kind of focused in on your leg strength, and it's given me more an equalness between both the legs. And like Debbie mentioned, the balance is another key issue. And not only that, what we were all surprised about was how good of an arm workout it is. Just holding your arm steady or to the side, you would feel the effects of that.
That's right. And the same thing with the leg, keeping it straight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might sound easy, but it isn't as easy as,
looks.
Sandra makes it look very easy, of course.
I know, it gives you a whole new appreciation for ballerinas and the strength that would require and entail. So yeah, it's been educational as well as enjoyable.
What's really great is I see that their balance has really improved. I mean, before they were hanging onto the chairs for dear life, and their balance has really improved, and they're centering their weight better. You know, it's a work in progress. It's something that takes years to really master, because it's so different from anything. It's so different from any kind of normal movement. You're keeping your legs straight, and you know, and your legs are moving to and fro, and the rest of you is like steel. So it's very different. A year ago, I tried to start a Dance for Health Parkinson's, but we rebranded. And at that time, very few people came. There were a couple people with Parkinson's, but it was just very, it didn't work out, actually. You know, depending on the demand, I would like to have more people like myself doing it. But right now, you know, I'm happy with this one location, but it'd be great to have more people involved if we go into the community.
Yeah, so my name's Ailsa Kepi, and we're here in Hortonville, which is near Wolfville in Nova Scotia. And we've, during COVID, built this studio space with the main floor accessible studio. So we were hoping to be able to offer classes for seniors and anyone having mobility issues, as well as just anyone who wanted to come. So that's kind of goes along with my massage therapy business. So I'm a registered massage therapist, and I have a background in movement therapy. So I just was seeing more and more clients having issues, and then, you know, they can only come for maybe their 4 or 5 massages a year, and it just wasn't cutting it for as far as health goes. So I was looking for how to get my clients to be more healthy and be able to be active into their old age. So Dance for Health Nova Scotia was the perfect kind of collaboration for me. My mother, who actually comes to the classes now, used to be a dance teacher. She and my dad used to teach Scottish country dancing, so they were kind of asked, she and I trained together to teach the Dance for Health classes. And then she's since had a couple of falls, so she's kind of become more of a participant than a leader. So I've kind of taken over with leading the classes. But I find the music and I teach exercise classes as well, which are a bit more, focused on getting the exercises or doing yoga poses right. And the Dance for Health classes are just really fun. We get to use lots of cool props, and you know, it reminds me, I did circus school back in the day, and I have so much fun. I'm like, let's use balls, let's use scarves, let's use ribbons, let's use whatever, and just see what we can do with it. And so I find that really brings a different sort of aspect to the classes. So I'm getting a few people coming regularly now with either mobility issues or just, you know, one gentleman came and his wife had just died. So he's been caretaking for a few years. So he doesn't have anything wrong himself other than he's not been able to look after his own needs for years. And, you know, his wife has passed. And so now what? Is he just going to sit at home or, you know, so I think something like this is so needed, because it's not just going to Tim Hortons for coffee. It's like, let's get out and move. Let's move your body. Let's get healthy. Let's have a laugh. Let's have some social time. And you put all that together, it's like a win-win for, in my books, what I've seen with people.
All right.
Francis, get you all right. Under this one?
It's Doug McEwen. I'm from Musqueam down in Eastern Shore, Nova Scotia. Despite my best efforts, I ended up with Parkinson's and felt that would be an excellent opportunity to get out and move. I'm expert about Parkinson's. Not something you really want, but I am. So we talked about, you know, what's needed, what's beneficial for people, for how that can fit into dance. And not just a dance, the social aspect of getting together, the key to very much so. But when I first went, like I say, I was apprehensive because I really didn't know what I was getting into. And worse than that, I had never danced, so a little bit of fear from this there. But that fear and apprehension is overcome very quickly. You sit down and talk to your peers, some have Parkinson's, some don't. Get to know them better. A level of comfort and relaxation goes up. The movement is geared towards how individuals can benefit from it. So some days it's you've got stiffness in your legs and joints, so you focus on that. Other days it's just getting around, being moving and being active. So for me, it was 1 hour a week, Fridays, and it was probably my best hour a week.
I think there's a barrier to just, you know, having to get to a class. So it would be nice to see some potential if there were teachers that were willing to go to seniors' residences and do classes there. I think that would see a lot of improvement. But, you know, for what it is, there's that. And I think also what I've seen is, you know, for seniors, there's such you know, if you have a fall or you get sick, you know, you can be in bed for a couple weeks or, you know, a month or so, or, you know, if you have to wait for a bone to heal. I see people really losing a lot of their strength and their kind of energy to join a class if that happens. So I don't know if I have a huge amount of ideas except to say that being a massage therapist and in the healthcare professions as well, if we could kind of work together more to see collaboration, so that if we see somebody coming and we get them to a stage where they're able to walk, you know, they do massage and physio, and then they need that nudge into a class like this sort of Dance for Health thing. You know, you're done your physio, but you're not quite back to what you were, right? You haven't moved in the way that you used to for a couple months or whatever.
The barriers to creating a program are, of course, funding, right? Space, right? These things really matter. I'm fortunate. We had funding for this. We have a little bit of funding for this. I have this amazing space here. And I have a community of people that support it and are interested in it. But that has been, I think, the biggest challenge, the biggest challenges for people setting these programs up. Is first of all, you have to get the space. Secondly, you have to get the funding. thirdly, you have to get the people.
Continuity and growth kind of go together. The programs should have a funding base that's stable and that increases along with inflation. And there should be a sense that when available in the budget, more money is put into it. It's very difficult for these groups to function on a grant by grant basis because there's so much uncertainty around it, around writing those grants. Will we get the grant? And if not, then what? So stable funding is crucial.
Skating, so we have the funds to recognize the need, and that their funds will, if they will provide opportunities for those who may not have the ability to, in our case, attend the class, or get a vehicle ride there in some means or manner. So funds link directly back into the individual's health and well-being.
Dance is essentially a creative act. You're creating something. You're creating a way of being. You're creating an imaginal space. You're creating a community. You're creating a new version of yourself. And you said, you're creating a place you can go. And that, I think, comes from the fact that the movement is generative. You're not just doing a functional responsive movement, you're generating new kinds of movement, you're paying attention to what they are and they mean something to you. So you are creating a new place. I think of dance as a form of worlding. This is getting a little bit phenomenological, but it is a way to create a world through the movement we engage in. And that world, what's cool about dance is that world can be shared. It's not just, my world that I'm experiencing. If I'm doing this with you, we're creating a world together. We're going someplace together through our movement, through dance. And at the end, when we, open our eyes, when we leave that world, when the music ends, we're not in the same place we were when we started. We've gone someplace different. Dance is magical. It's magic. And we can talk about the science that supports that. But this is one of the reasons I love it so much, because it's magical and it's also really complex scientifically. And it's a space where we can try to bring those very different worlds and ways of thinking into conversation to understand what is really a complex human behavior that has been with us for, as long as we know. It seems like every culture has had forms of dance. Why is that? It must do something for us. Maybe it is absolutely integral to our health and well-being.
What I'd love to see at some point, and it's an aspiration of ours, is to not move Dance for Health seniors, but add Dance for Health seniors or offer Dance for Health seniors within long-term care facilities. To have recreational therapists, for example, recreational therapists and physiotherapists who work in these facilities, maybe have them trained to offer this as part of their suite of programming. So many seniors, as we know, have to watch their pennies. So offering programming for seniors requires accessibility on many fronts, one of them being financial. So what we offer our community-based instructors is some financial support in terms of a stipend for their teaching that they can access, for example, to help pay for room rental, to help pay for supplies, coffee and tea and sweets, because the social aspect of the classes, the getting together after class, the chatting, the community building that happens outside the formal class itself is also critical. It takes a year to get any program off the ground. Year one was spent training the trainers, who then trained the community-based trainees. And as word got out that this program was underway, we had more and more people knocking on the door saying, please train me, I'm interested. So year two has been just that consolidation, the training of the community-based trainers, the training of the new community-based trainers. So we've augmented our stable, if you will, of instructors. We've augmented our knowledge overall, moving from the Parkinson's perspective, the Parkinson's training, into the dementia training, into more broadly based body movement and awareness training, so that these programs have broad application to whomever would like to join the class and benefit from movement to music. These classes are appropriate for anyone, any senior looking for a movement to music based activity. It benefits all. The longer these classes run, the second, third, fourth go around, word's getting out. Where would we like to go next? There are all sorts of communities still untapped.